I know when I make work, it's in that early instinctual stage, that is where something is fresh and really alive. But I've learned how to do that. And so I've been trying to push through that and see if something pops out the other end if I go deep into complexity. And it did. I really found beauty of some sort. It started of me just like with wherever I'd go, I'd be in someone's house and I just use their jar of pencils and just use whatever materials I had and just go and go and go on one work and just see what emerges. I'm trying to constantly sort of draw differently as much as possible. So I'll draw something I know how to draw, then I'll be like, alright, anything that pops into your head, then you draw it, and sometimes it'll be serious and sometimes it'll be playful and childish and like primal. And I noticed that after it got really complex, every now and then like something would just pop up out of it. It becomes an actual image that appears out of the kind of cloud of my emotive patterns. Things will pop out that I have no prior engagement in or idea in. So it's almost like something comes to me instead of me making something. Painting, it's different because you're playing with colour instead. And I was playing with direct colour, it wasn't really tonal. It was more like using the colour just to build, like placing colours next to each other and the reaction that would happen. And it would change the whole mood or the whole energy or the whole sweep or the whole calmness. Each time I would touch it, I would affect the intensity and the whole colour mood and stuff, and then I'd put another layer of different colour and it would take it into a whole different world again. And it just felt so interesting because it steps you off into these new areas that you haven't seen before, I hadn't seen before. Thought is so complex in my head. It is where abstraction happens. Our brain creates the idea about something which is an abstraction. So that's where I was like, okay, abstraction is then inside, or like inside the mind or inside the dream. If I could paint these instinctual abstract pictures and use the white as the sort of describer of the dream, and then this was the colour and the stuff that was happening inside the dream, I started to see something there, and there was a really good connection because I've always painted kind of reality, like it's obviously a very stretched out version of reality, but it's been objects and things, and it makes sense to me now after painting all that reality and kind of trying to figure something out that I then stepped off the physical and tried to go in the dream or in your mind or in the room inside. And it's also a great representation of how I was in such a great spot. All my other paintings have been quite dark. I think my auntie called it a winter. She said it's like you've come out into the Italian summer after the winter of your painting.